Welcome back to East Texas Now. I'm your host, Leo Cavetto. Let's go ahead and jump right into our next segment. So we've been talking about the history of LGBTQ rights in these last few minutes, and I also wanted to talk to some local people about the state of Pride here in East Texas. And now, joining with me, I have... Let's see if I can get a full screen of this. Yep. All right. And joining here in our over Zoom, you guys can go ahead and unmute. Joining us here in the studio, well, via Zoom, are Mark Vinson and Jason Wallace of Pride East Texas Longview. Folks, how's it going?
Doing great. Pleasure to be here, Leo.
Yeah, thanks for having us today.
Of course. Well, I wanted to talk to you guys, obviously, today because it is the first day of Pride Month. And I think one of the things I wanted to talk about, sometimes you'll hear people say things like, well, why is there Pride Month? Why isn't there a straight Pride Month? So I kind of want to, yeah, of course. I want to ask you, what is the purpose of commemorating Pride Month? And what does Pride mean to you?
Well, our current political climate is pretty dystopian for a lot of our marginalized communities out there. So I think Pride takes on a really big significance for people that that might be feeling that isolation right now. I know growing up as a kid out here in East Texas, being told that gay is bad, seeing kind of like those old tropes on TV and movies back in the 80s, you just didn't really feel like that was you, right? You didn't see yourself represented. And so what Pride does, especially for me, is that it's just a safe, reassuring place, an event to celebrate the community and be visible for those people that need to see themselves represented where they may not see themselves on the day-to-day basis.
And your thoughts, Mark?
Well, Pride to me is a celebration and education and activism. It's highlighting the achievements of the LGBTQ communities and raises awareness about ongoing struggles.
All right. Now, to the next question. Obviously, we know that this Pride Month comes at a difficult time for the LGBT community around the country. We've seen several states, of course, introduce and pass legislation targeted at the LGBT community. This year, specifically people who are transgender. The Trump administration has erased mentions of LGBTQ people from government websites, and we're even seeing corporations pulling back from sponsoring Pride events when they used to be some of the biggest sponsors. So what is your take right now on the state of rights for queer people across this country and here in Texas?
That's a hard one because you see, I think, the attacks on a daily basis, and in a lot of ways it feels like we're regressing from so many advances that we've made across, and it's just not. Let's get frank. It's just not the LGBTQ community. It's any marginalized minority community in the United States right now that are kind of feeling some of these. Some of this regression, and so I think it's a kind of a scary time, but I feel like we will make it out. We got to stay positive, and again, I just think that really emphasizes the real importance of celebrating Pride and being visible this month.
All right, and your thoughts, Mark?
Well, it is a scary time. I'm just so afraid that with a stroke of a pen, it could all go away. But we need to continue. We need to go forward.
All right, and on the topic of going forward, what is your group, Pride East Texas Longview, doing to fight back and keep Pride alive this year? And what are you seeing from other LGBTQ advocacy groups on what they're doing to fight back against this apparent regression?
I think it's just groups staying visible. I know just getting on Facebook this morning, getting on Instagram, my friends from across the nation have been posting, support both straight and gay and trans friends of mine. And it really just kind of makes me happy to see those advocates out there that are making it known that they are, part of the community, they are proud, and that they are allies. And I think the ally is what really makes me the most proud during this time is former bosses and people that I've worked with that are just going out and making these statements and participating in the events. And so I think that's something that gives me hope, and especially the youth. The youth are strong, and we've gotten away, I think, from kind of the early days of Pride, and it's kind of waned. And I think there's going to be a resurgence of this, especially with the youth of today kind of coming in and taking the reins and bringing Pride forward.
And Mark?
I can see the youth bringing it forward, and we will be passing the torch to them in the future. I agree with Jason.
And I think what's really important is, we have our annual Pride celebration coming up on Saturday, June the 28th, month. Saturday, June 28th, out at Mod Cobb from 3 to 8. We're really excited about it. We put a lot of work into it, got a lot of great vendors, got a lot of great sponsors. It's a family-friendly event. We'll have some food trucks out there. Really excited. We have a tethered hot air balloon rides available for people that want to come do that. We've got our theme is Soaring with Pride this year, so kind of tying into the legacy of the hot air balloon in Longview. We have a mermaid story hour time, as well as a lot of performances throughout the day. And Tyler, just to kind of toot Tyler Pride, they also have their annual Pride on June 21st from 11 to 5.
All right. Well, moving on from the topic of how difficult this Pride Month is going to come for the community, we shouldn't lose sight also that this Pride Month is also going to be marking many important anniversaries in the fight for LGBTQ rights. 22 years ago, of course, Lawrence v. Texas struck down all remaining state laws that banned gay sex. 10 years later, in the court case of U.S. v. Windsor, struck down the Defense of Marriage Act. And of course, this month will mark the 10th anniversary of the decision in Obergefell v. Hodges, which legalized same-sex marriage across the United States. And something that my stepdad always tells me is that even though we still have work to do, we should always recognize how far we've come. And I really want to hear your perspective on this. When you look back at the last few decades, just how far and how fast have we progressed on the topic of LGBTQ rights?
We've progressed pretty fast, except, same-sex marriage and nationwide protections against discrimination in employment, housing, public accommodations in many states. Except a step back, Texas has now the no promo homo law, which restricts decisions about the LGBT community issues in schools. And there have been recent legislative efforts restricting affirming care and to limit recognition of gender identity on state records. But further progress is needed. There's a lack of federal law banning discrimination against sexual orientation and gender identity. But we have come a long way and we need to continue to move forward, and we need these young people to join us in the fight. Mm-hmm.
And your thoughts, Jason?
Yeah, originally I was thinking it's kind of like the iPhone, right? What is it?
Yeah.
How old is the iPhone? I don't know, but I'm already on 16, right? And so we started out at the iPhone 1. We've come a long way. But again, like I'm excited about the iPhone 20, even though I'm sitting with a 16 right now. So I'm hoping that we'll keep progressing, we'll keep moving forward. We definitely have some struggles right now, but I can't. I can't resolve myself for it to slide backwards, like you continue to slide backwards. So I just am hopeful and positive that as a community, as a nation, we will right the ship, and as a state, we will right this ship and start getting back on the right path.
All right. And I also wanted to get a perspective on what it's like to celebrate Pride here in East Texas, because I'm originally not from Tyler. I'm originally from the DFW area, more urban location. And, I kind of imagine that advocating for LGBTQ rights would be more difficult in rural parts of the country, places that are more socially conservative. Is that something that you've seen throughout the years that's unique to rural areas like East Texas?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it is a challenge to be LGBTQ in the East Texas area. It's a very generally conservative cultured area. And we do have the lack of affirming resources and policies.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that earlier today. Yeah, I lived in Dallas, the DFW. I grew up here, moved to Dallas for about 25 years. And I guess one of the biggest differences is that why we have a great bar that serves the community in Longview, RMC, we don't have a centralized neighborhood like you see in the Dallas area, like Oaklawn, or the Montrose area in Houston, or Fifth Street in Austin. And so we don't having that kind of neighborhood feel is very unique to the larger cities. And so, like Mark said, there aren't a lot of the resources that you could go in to, like in Dallas, and know exactly where to go to get HIV testing, or know where to go get health resources, or know where to go get other just resources in general, housing resources. So I think that's kind of one of the biggest differences growing up, being in a smaller area, in terms of just the visibility that we have, or the lack of visibility here in the East Texas area.
All right. And I know you did touch upon this earlier. You kind of got ahead of me on this one, but I did want to talk about Soaring with Pride, that event that's coming up later this month. What should people know if they want to participate?
Mark?
We welcome anybody that wants to participate. Join us and come to the meetings. We also looking at volunteers. We still are looking for booths for vendors to come. Just come to the meetings. We meet. Well, we're meeting twice a month now, but when we go back to meeting once a month and get our, we invite you to come. Please come and just join us and help us build this community in East Texas.
And I think the day is going to be a lot of fun. You're kind of touching back on the last question. When I lived in Dallas, I was there, 25 years. I think I went to 5 Prides. Because, it was just kind of another day. And, there was a community that you could go hang out in. If I wanted coffee, to go down to the area. But, I find it super important and super, super, super excited about participating here in Pride in East Texas because we don't have as many of those kind of events, community building. So I think we've put together a pretty great day. We've got a lot of vendors, local vendors. We've got some health resources that will be out. And a DJ that's going to be playing music all day. I said performers. Again, excited about this hot air balloon, this tethered rides we've got lined up, some food trucks, and I think it's just going to be an all-around great day. Just to come out, celebrate, have a good time, bring your kids at Mod Cobb from 3 to 8 on June the 28th.
All right. Well,
Yes.
Thank you so much again for you guys to come on here and talk to us about Pride Month. And best of luck going forward. Happy Pride Month.
Thank you.
Happy Pride Month, Leo.
All right, and just in case you missed that detail, we have here Soaring with Pride in Longview, happening Saturday, June 28th from 3 to 8 p.m. at the Mod Cobb Convention Center at 100 Grand Boulevard, featuring a drag show, food trucks, hot air balloon rides, and kids activities, as well as a DJ, I think he mentioned there.